Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are back with another very special guest. I am pumped to have this dude on today, just to simply know more about his story, his life, some of the crazy stories that's happened with him since he's been in the UFC, and just break down the man, Justin Guitar Hero Jaynes, brother. How are we doing
Hey,
today?
fuck, man. Just enjoying this 70-degree weather in beautiful Las Vegas, man. Couldn't have it any better. I know back where I'm from in Michigan, it's snowing out there. It's 30 degrees. So I'm just trying to make everybody envious of all this beautiful weather I'm having.
Bro, and like we said before, I was gonna mention I lived in Michigan for 4 months 2 years ago, but I did it during the summertime. And
Ah, okay.
everybody was telling me, dude, if you're here in November, you're gonna regret it. So I
Yeah,
didn't
man.
realize how crazy it was out there, bro, but you know more than I do.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, like we'd have, snow days in school, and we're talking like 6, 7 feet of snow, man. Like it's fucking,
Oh,
it can get wild, man. If you're not used to it, it can really fuck you up and really ruin your day, to say the least.
yeah, bro. And back to that Vegas, back to you being in Vegas and that weather, bro. Us in Houston and us everywhere in Texas completely feel you, man. The
Ooh,
fact
I
that I
feel.
can walk
How,
outside and
how
not drip
is
sweat,
Houston? I gotta know. Is Houston okay? Like after that
bro.
ass whooping last weekend? Come on, man.
Bro.
I
But we
wasn't
came
gonna
back with
mention.
Dallas. We came back
Yeah,
with Dallas Monday though, so we
but
we we
but
recovered a little
beating
bit.
Dallas, is that a comeback though?
We just had to show we're Texas team, baby.
Yeah,
We just had
I
to
tell
make a
you what.
stamp.
Texas has a good ass team, guys. I really like C.J. Stroud. I thought they in the
Dude,
first half, I thought they looked incredible. I was like, damn, all right, we got exposed, and that's unfortunately, we've been such a losing franchise for so long. I've been a diehard Lions fan since I was a little boy. My dad was a fan,
bro.
and to see him be able to persevere through a 23, I think it was 23-7 at halftime, and come back and beat a
Five
good team.
picks.
And Jared Goff, and that's another thing. Like people are, discrediting Jared Goff, man. Guess what? He had an off day. What about his 18 for 18? What about his 11 for 11? What about last weekend when he just went 450 yards with 5 touchdown passes? Like just because a
Dude.
guy has an off day doesn't mean that he's a bad quarterback. And Jared Goff's our leader, man.
Bro, I'll be real honest with y'all. During the 2 year period when Houston Texans just absolutely sucked, I was a part time Lions fan. I love what the
Sure.
fuck y'all got going on, bro. Ever
Yeah,
since Hard
absolutely.
Knock showed who Dan Campbell really is and the staff y'all have and who y'all got on the team, bro, I fuck with Detroit, man. And honestly, Justin, I'll be real with you here. We'll see each other again in the Super Bowl later this year, brother.
I mean,
It's
that's
gonna
that's
be
that's if Texas keeps putting it together, because you guys have such a strong team, and I really like that C.J. Stroud, man. I like him a lot.
thank you. But bro, to get off of football and to get back on you, bro, and some MMA, I'm ready to break down Justin Guitar Hero Jaynes. And I think the best place to start, man, where did the nickname come from?
Oh man, it was so when I was in college, like I kind of had a boring style. I'll be straight up, like I had a kind of a boring fight style. I was a college wrestler, so I'd typically take guys down and just look for rear naked chokes, maybe get some ground and pound in, and then Darren Cruikshank, former UFC vet, he's still
Mm-hmm.
active. He's training in Michigan right now. He was my college roommate, and he's like, bro, like you're boring. Like nobody's gonna want to watch you fight if you don't change your style. So for like 2 or 3 years, like I would just try to, I would try to, while I was developing my striking, I would try to do gimmicks, leading up to my fights to try to make people excited to want to see me. Like I did the Guitar Hero, I did like the Karate Kid, I did a whole bunch of fun stuff, and I remember, and it worked because people would come up to me at shows and be like, dude, you're the guy that walked out with the guitar, you're the guy that did this or that. And I was like, because they weren't remembering me for my fighting stuff because I was so boring.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, my one buddy, we were playing Guitar Hero when I was in college. Guitar Hero was a big thing. And he's like, dude, I bet you won't do this. I was like, fucking bet, let's go. And I did it once. And I did it a couple times, actually. But then once I started knocking guys out, I felt my striking was good. I stopped doing it. And then when I got to the UFC called and they're like, dude, like, what's up with this nickname Guitar Hero? I'm like, oh, that's something I did in college. Like, I don't do that anymore. And they're like, dude, we want you to keep that. You don't have to, but we want you to keep it because everyone's like, I'm the Spartan, I'm the warrior, I'm the killer. Like, there's nobody the
Yes.
Guitar Hero. So I kept it, and I'm gonna retire as the Guitar Hero. So I'm happy about it.
Bro, that's actually kind of dope, man, that they called you with that insight too. That they're like, hey, man, look, we've had enough. I'm the last killer, killer be killed, the
Everyone's a killer,
assassin.
bro.
Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious. The fact that they were like, hey, man, if you could actually stick with Guitar Hero, we would prefer that.
Yeah, it's original and it was fun, man.
I think what else is hilarious and original too, bro, is you making food right now as we're doing
Bro,
this.
I've been
This
fucking
is
grinding all
hilarious.
morning. Sorry, dude.
No, bro, no, 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 no. Please don't stop, bro. I honestly want you to make an even bigger meal. Like, I want you to
This
make
is
sides right now.
this
I
is
want you to
my
make a
so
fucking cake.
I was at the gym from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I get back. I have my one podcast from then till now, and I'm just jumping
Yeah.
on with you, man. So forgive me if I'm
Nah,
fucking you up.
bro. Bro, I promise just jokes, bro. The whole time you've been doing it, I was like trying not to hold in my laughter, but this is hilarious. Bro, I promise you, you're all good. I know you got a lot of shit going on, but
I
bro,
appreciate it.
how did how did you get started into MMA? Do you remember your first amateur fight and how you got
Oh,
started?
dude. Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. I actually didn't want to do it. Like I was a high school wrestler. I wanted to go to college and wrestle. I was pretty good. I was 57-0 going into the state tournament, and me and Jakar Klaus,
Damn.
we ran into each other at the state tournament. He was 55-0, I was 57-0, and I ended up losing to him, which is ironic because we both were in the UFC at the same time in the same weight class. So I always wanted to fight Jakar.
Makes sense
Uh,
now why you were calling him out.
Yeah, he's a freaking stud. I mean, honestly, he's a better fighter than me. It would have been really great story for me in the UFC. Like, dude, this guy lost to him in high school. But hey, you know what? Everyone has a puncher's chance, especially when you have as much power as I do. I can knock anybody out at any time at any weight. Excuse me. But yeah, going back to my first amateur fight, I was working at a gym called Steel City in Richmond, Michigan, and this guy came in named Andy McLaughlin, and he's like, "Oh, I heard you're a good wrestler and this and that." He's like, "You ever thought about doing MMA?" I'm like, "Nah, that's no good." And he knew that I was a huge WWE fan, and I still am. Steve Austin being my guy, and
Let's
he's like, "Dude,
go,
like."
baby.
He's like, dude, he's like, MMA is just like the UFC, like, or is like WWE. Like, you get a theme song, you can walk out. I was like, all right, well, you're kind of piquing my interest. Finally, he talks me into it. I don't train at all. I get in the ring, and I remember being in the ring in this little shithole bar, and it was called Premier Lanes in Chesterfield, Michigan. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then the guy throws a head kick, and I was like, dude, I don't like this a lot. And so I shot in a takedown, and he guillotined me and finished me. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do one more. And after that, I'm going to hang it up. And then I fought again. I fought another amateur fight, and I won the second one by decision. I was like, ooh, I like that a lot. That was fun. And then I ended up having 50 amateur fights from 2007 to 2012, all throughout the
Bro.
world, man. I went, Michigan, California, Vegas, Ohio, Wisconsin, Florida. I went to Thailand, trained in Thailand for a bit. I fought in India.
Dude.
I was on MTV India for a while. I fought in Scotland. I just did an international wrestling tournament in India. Like, I've been very fortunate that this win that small decision right there to continue fighting has opened up so many possibilities. And I'm world traveled now. I've been able to go to real third world countries, and a lot of people, especially Americans, man. And and I'm not going to get into religious or any religion or anything, but I'm an atheist slash agnostic, and everyone hates me for that, man. I get so much judgment online for it, but I think when you go to a true third world country and you see true world problems, there's no way you can ever believe in God again. It's just there's like I see like when I was in India, there would be babies, naked babies on the street, and flies would be eating their eyes, and grown men would be pissing and shitting in the street, and like these cars would drive by, run over dogs, like because they have stray dogs everywhere. They run over
Yeah.
dogs and they just leave the dog there to die and be yelping and crying, and just to see. And then the people like the crime, organized crime is so big. Like one of the things that really got me is gangsters will intercept a loner, like say a homeless loner, and they will cut his limbs off to make you feel bad for him. So when they're begging with, a nub as an arm, you're more likely going to give that guy money, and then he has to give that money to the gangs in the world. Or there's another
Oh
one,
my God.
yeah, another scam they do is like old women, not old women, but women will come up to you with babies and shit, be like, oh, please, please, like, and if they don't speak English, they'll mouth it. They'll grab food and like act like they'll do this. They'll be like, need food,
Yeah.
need food. So what you do is you buy, say you take them to the grocery store or whatever, the 7-Eleven on the corner, and you buy food for them, and then they take it back, return it to the store, and they get a cut. And this is
Jesus,
it's
dude.
and I mean these are real world problems, man. And I'm very fortunate that MMA has opened my eyes up to this, because as Americans we are so, I mean, we are fucking pieces of spoiled shit. Like, we're all worried about people calling us names and people being gay and trans. Like, these are our problems. And you go to like I said, you go to a place like India and you go into the slums, those are fucking real problems. And once you see that and you realize, like, wow, this is fucking real, there's no way you can believe in God again. And if you still believe in God after that, like, he's a narcissist, man, and I wouldn't want to hang out with him anyways.
Justin, I'll
Anyways,
be
get
real
off
honest
that
with you,
tub.
bro. No, no, no. I got you. I got you. I didn't know you traveled out of the country like that for MMA, much less in the places you've already been. Were
Yeah.
you there? Were you there fighting as well the whole entire time, or were you just training?
No, when I was in India, I was there for 2 months.
Yeah,
I was in Mumbai, and I don't know if you ever seen the movie called Mumbai, bro. Let me do you a
I haven't.
favor. Do yourself a favor. It is the wildest movie I've ever seen in my whole fucking life, and it will
Yeah,
change. It'll essentially change your life. So when I was in Mumbai, or yeah, I mean the city's called Mumbai or Bombay. It goes by Bombay or Mumbai, but it's the same city. They have two different names.
yeah.
So there's this hotel. It's a world famous hotel. International travelers there. It's very, very fancy. Well, all these international guests were staying in this hotel in Mumbai that I got to stay in, and these terrorists, these like a half dozen terrorists, came in and just massacred everybody in the hotel. Like, they
Oh
went
my
into the hotel,
God.
they held guys at the front door, and they went room to room and just massacred everybody. And there's no guns in India, so the police are
Mm,
showing up with like double barrel shotguns and shit.
hmm.
They can't do anything against these guys. So it took like almost 24 hours for, I don't remember what country came in with their special force task unit, but it took like, I don't know, 12 or 24 hours. And during that 12, 24-hour stint, these guys are just massacring everybody in there. So I heard about this story and I was like, no way. And then like a month after I got back from India, they came out with a movie called Hotel Mumbai, and I was like, dude, that's the hotel I stayed at, not
Oh my
knowing
God.
not knowing what I was about to watch. I had no
Yeah.
idea what it was about. I just knew like something terrible happened, and I'm just sitting there stoned, and I'm just like, the whole movie, it's fucking unreal. It's
Yeah.
unreal. And I started watching, and I was like, dude, this is so intense that there's probably some cinematic, push on this to make it more interesting. And then I did like the
Yeah.
research of it, and it's really what happened. Like,
Oh my
people,
God.
people like the employees were locking themselves, trying to lock themselves in rooms so people can't get in. And they would come up and be like, hey, this is the police. This is the police. Open the door. We're here to help you. And as soon as they opened the door, bang, 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 killed everybody,
Oh my
women,
God.
children, kids. And it was all in the name of our Father. So it's that, again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, sticky
Yeah,
subject. People
yeah,
get
yeah,
pissed
yeah,
at me
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. No, bro, I appreciate you sharing that. I get why people would get mad at that, but honestly, bro, you just gotta be open minded. Like, I completely, from your point of view and from what you've seen, I can't change your thoughts, bro. Wait, like, that's insane. If I saw that too, Justin, holy fuck,
I
I
mean,
guarantee you, I'd have a different outlook, bro.
and I saw racism at the fullest. So
Yeah,
that was another thing that blew my mind. Like, like, I know there's a lot of a lot of racism in the U.S. and there is, but so there's a caste system in India. There's caste 1 to 4. If you're a caste 1, that means you are the upper echelon of society. If you're a caste 4, you are dirt. And caste
mm.
4s cannot hang out with caste 1s. All right,
Oh, bro, this is
it's
so
you're not allowed.
1600s.
You're and no, this is fucking now. But yes,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
It sounds far fetched, right? But it's not. A caste 4 cannot touch a caste 1. It is illegal. I don't know if
What
it's
the
illegal,
fuck?
but yeah, like a caste 1 won't hang out with a caste 4 ever. And like so, and I heard this and I was like, yeah, whatever. So there was a little school outside of my hotel, and there was always like, I don't know, 10 or 15 kids out there playing soccer barefoot in the street on the cement. So I kind of befriended these kids, and I would go out there and I'd play soccer with them, and we kicked the ball around, and maybe two or three of them spoke English, but I'm talking about like eight, and I got videos on my Instagram too, of all this. That was pretty cool. So we were playing soccer, and something happened. I can't remember exactly what happened, but the ball got deflated. And I was like, "Fuck it, dude! I'll go buy it." They're like, "Oh," and they're bummed. Like some of the kids were crying because they only get one ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
bro.
so I was like, "Dude,
Yeah,
I'll
there's
go to
no
the,
video games.
yeah, yeah." And now they're like, "Fuck! Now what are we gonna do for the rest of the day?" So I saw a store, and I'm like, "Well, let me go see if this store has a ball." So I brought a couple of the kids. Me and my buddy Anthony Avila. He trains at Team Alpha Male. Incredible fighter. He's a cop now in California. He was there with me, and we go into this store, and we're telling the kid like, "Come on, pick out what ball you want." And the store owner wouldn't let the kid in the store
Cause,
because
cause
that
of the level, the one,
because the
two, three, four
cast.
thing.
Yeah, he's a four
Yeah.
cast, and as a store owner, you're a
What
two
the
cast. So he
fuck?
wouldn't even let him in the store. And they're not, and if they're the same race, like they're both brown, they're both Indian.
Yeah,
But yeah, so the kid had to sit outside the store until we went and got the ball and bring it out. Man, it was eye opening, man. And I really want to take my mom to show her like what the real world is, man. And like
hmm
we're just such spoiled brats, like and
yes,
that's the
bro.
other thing. Like you got like all these MMA fighters, and John Jones did in his first fight. He's like, I just want to thank God for this. It's like, bro, like there are people with real severe problems out there, and if God was here just to make sure you win this fight against Stipe, I mean I just fucking hate that shit. I mean, it's just so
Yeah,
sad for me to see what I've seen and to see how us as Americans are with religion. It's like, if God was real, like he needs to be helping the people that really need it. And as Americans, we really don't need it that bad.
bro, bro. We could probably talk about this for an hour and a half because the great thing about this, I'm down with it. This is insane, and I'd love to hear more about your story. And honestly, we
Sure,
might circle back to it because I got a couple questions asking about places you've been, and I
sure,
didn't know you fucking left the country and been to places
yeah,
like this, Justin. But I
yeah.
want to kind of bring it back to your fighting. What does your family think, bro, about you doing this?
When it first happened, my dad was always in support. My dad just passed away a couple months ago, but he was always in support
Yeah.
of this. I was 17 years old when I had my first amateur fight. He had to sign the paper, the consent paper, saying that it was okay that I did it. My mom hated it at first. She probably still hates it to a certain degree, but here's the thing, like and I don't know how to word this properly, but you got to take it the right way. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do, regardless of how you feel about it, how she feels about it, how he feels about it. So she's gotten, I'm 35 years old now, but I've always been like that. Like if I have a goal to be in the UFC, sorry, mom, I don't really take in consideration how you feel about it. This is what I want to do. So you can either jump on my bus and help me get there and be a part of the journey, or you can just leave me alone. And when I say leave me alone, I mean about the topic. I do not leave me alone
Yes.
like you're not my
Yes.
mom anymore. That's not what I
I get
mean.
it. Yeah, I get it.
But like so I mean she's accepted it, like my next venture. I'm trying to work out something with BKFC in the spring here, and hopefully they pay me some good money. And obviously my mom's initial reaction was, no, Justin, you're not gonna do that. I said, well, yes, I am, and let's just get that straight. And then she's like, okay, well, I support you. One of those kind of deals, like.
That's actually crazy that you said that, bro. Because literally, I had literally my next question written down. Not my next, but I was getting to it. Have you thought about fighting and maybe stop doing MMA, but fighting BKFC or Game Bread FC, or just straight up boxing?
Yeah, man. I mean, unfortunately, I'm in a position in my career that I'm chasing the money now, man. It's not about getting to the
Yeah,
UFC anymore. I've already been there. I've done
yeah,
that. I didn't feel that I was treated with very much respect in the UFC. I'm very grateful for my opportunities, but I felt that I was set up for failure and I was used as a stepping stone because every fight, 4 out of my 5 fights in the UFC were on short notice. And when you're fighting Gavin Tucker on short notice, Gabriel Benitez on short notice, Devonte Smith up a weight class and a half. Me and Devonte fought at 160. I'm a featherweight. Like how can I show up and show the world what I have when I'm constantly being put in these bad situations? And again, although they were bad situations, I'm still very grateful for the opportunities I've had. But unfortunately, I couldn't get any momentum going, just because trying to show up and fight the best in the world on with almost no little to no preparation. I wasn't able to put things together the way I needed to.
And I was gonna slowly kind of get into that, bro. But I mean, dude, you make a great point, and I actually got some shit written down for you during your UFC span, bro. Because I thought this is fucking crazy, right? So you take a very short notice fight, and a week's notice, right, against Frank Camacho.
Uh, well, they called me Wednesday night, and I
Uh
fought
huh.
Saturday.
So fucking literally 72 hours, and you got to fight a motherfucker like Frank Camacho. You take the fight, bro. You win it in a nasty first round finish. Nasty first. I mean, bro, literally that you were fighting like he literally owed you money.
Yeah.
You take that fight, right? This is where it gets crazy, Justin. This is where I was like, well, what the fuck, man? So you fought June 20th, 2020. You made your debut.
Yep.
August 8th, 2020 is your second fight.
Yes.
December 5th, 2020 is your third fight. February 6th, 2021 is your fourth fight. And then you fought Charles Rosa June 26th, 2021. So literally in a year span, you fought 5 times, bro.
Yeah.
And like you just said, they're all on short notice, all against motherfuckers, all against literally just guys that are some of these guys are still in the UFC and still ranked. So it's fucking crazy, bro. Like you're saying right there, you really didn't get a fair shot at it, and you did it during COVID, which I want to know, what was it like, dude, getting called up to the UFC during the pandemic?
Man, it was a surreal moment. I remember it very well. I remember exactly where I was at. I remember exactly who I was with. I remember exactly what I was doing. There was an opening on that card that I got on, and my manager called me on Monday. He's like, "Hey, there's a lightweight opening. We're gonna try to get your name in it." And I was like,
Oh, at
"Fuck,
lightweight.
at lightweight, yeah, against Frank Camacho." Because 3 of my fights were at what lightweight or bigger, and then I had 2 fights at featherweight.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I'm like fucking pumped. Monday, I show up to the gym, fucking doing great. Tuesday, show up to the gym. I'm fucking ready. I'm still waiting for the call. Wednesday, I go to the gym. I have all my sweats on just in case I need to get a sweat on. And my
Mm-hmm.
manager calls me and he's like, hey, they went with somebody else. They went with They went with my teammate, Max Raxkoff.
Oh,
And
damn.
I was just like, wow, that was a kick in the fucking balls. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was no, that was Tuesday night. They called me and told
Mm-hmm.
me that. So Wednesday, I coach. It was really cool how this worked out, man. And it's like a storyline. And like I said, my first fight in the UFC and everything leading up to it was just so crazy because Monday, my manager says, "Hey, look, get ready because you're probably fighting this weekend." Tuesday, he calls me and says, "Hey, you're not fighting this weekend. The spot got filled." Wednesday morning, I was coaching a
Damn.
baseball team, a state championship level baseball team, and I didn't want to go to practice. I was just so deflated because I've had this happen so many times. It wasn't the first time this has happened. It's happened, I don't know, 5 times. So I was just really deflated. I called Jerome Sapp, who played in the NFL for 7 years. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can come into practice today. Like, I'm just really not feeling good about things right now. And he's like, hey, man, but maybe being around the kids and you can tell them the story. And, Justin, you're one of the toughest guys. I've played in the NFL for 8 years. You're one of the toughest mental guys I've ever met. Like, maybe you can come in here and try to inspire these kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I go to practice, I put them through, and then afterwards, I sat all the kids down, and Jerome videotaped. I didn't know he was videotaping, but I'm like, I don't know if he was standing behind me or on the side of me, but he's videotaping things I say. I'm like, hey, listen, fucking life is tough, and sports are tough too. But like everybody's going through their battle. I was supposed to be in the UFC. I was told I was going to be in the UFC this weekend, and I'm not now. And guess what? I got to still wake my ass up. I need to get to practice. I need to train, and I'm trying to relate it to these kids. Like things are
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
things
Just
are
speaking
gonna
from the heart.
exactly things are gonna go wrong in life, and you got to be able to pick yourself up, and you got to be able to persevere through all this bad shit that's gonna happen. It's not if it's gonna happen; it's when it's gonna happen. It's gonna be how bad it's gonna happen because bad shit is gonna happen regardless. And I
Dude.
give him this big speech, and Jerome, like afterwards, like, wow, like that came straight. I almost was crying, and he has it all on video, all on video. That night, 12 hours later, I got the call to fight Frank Camacho. So,
Oh my god, dude.
how
Bro,
fucking
I'm
cool is
telling you,
that?
it feels like we don't live in a real world sometimes, dude.
Yeah.
When I've heard some of these stories and how some guys have gotten their call from the UFC, that's fucking crazy. So when you wake up, so do you get it Wednesday night?
Yeah, I got done
So
with
you got
practice.
2 days.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like I was like 175 pounds. I was a little heavier than I needed to be, and
Yeah,
so Thursday I planned I was just gonna cut weight all day Thursday, and then
yeah.
weigh-ins were Friday morning. Well, I didn't have any of my medicals done because I hadn't fought in Las Vegas. So Thursday, the whole day was just me cutting weight. Excuse me, doing
Oh,
medical
dude.
appointments.
Yes,
Friday,
yes.
Thursday night, I meet my coach at the gym about 10 p.m. and we cut weight from
Bro.
10 p.m. until 6 a.m. I made weight.
Oh my God.
Frank actually missed weight, and and that was the end of it. And I knocked him out in 30 seconds.
Dude. Oh, so hang on. So after you get that knockout, bro, do you remember what y'all did that night to celebrate and what your emotions were like, man?
Man,
Because, dude, that's insane. Getting on call, that notice, having that speech, just everything going on that week, and then you get the job done, bro, in a 30-second nasty knockout.
I'll be honest, like it is the most incredible moment of my life. Nothing compares to it. And I got criticized when I said that because I have a son, and they're like, "Well, what about your son being born?" Fuck my son being
Man.
born. Like that, like I don't give a like. I had a kid when I was 19 years old. When my son was born, it was not a good like.
Hey, facts, bro.
Yeah, like I mean,
Facts.
I'm just speaking facts. Like it wasn't an exciting moment for me. Like I thought my life was over. I was 19 years old with a kid, and me and my son having such an incredible relationship. I have an incredible relationship with his mom. I have an incredible relationship with his stepdad. We are a full family unit, all three of us. And man, I'm so grateful for her. Her name's Emily, and Jeremy, her husband, because like they're such good parents to Ben, and obviously I'm a good parent to Ben, and he's 15 years old now, and we just have such an incredible relationship. I mean, it's just we're a whole family unit. We all work together, and that's great. But to get back to that moment, so yeah, like I was like that at that time, that wasn't a good point in my life. But yeah, so
Yeah.
the only thing that sucked about it was it just happened too fast. And I don't mean the knockout happened too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole, I wasn't able to embrace and enjoy the situation as a whole because it goes, I get the call, then I have my medicals, then I have to weigh in, then I knock Frank out. And it's like, whoa, this all happened in 48 hours. You know what I
Were
mean?
you
Like,
living
so
in Vegas too?
yeah, I was living in Vegas too. But
Okay.
it all happened in 48 hours. I went from
Yes.
being a broke idiot to being signed to the UFC to getting a 50K bonus all within 48 hours. And it's like I just need things to slow down so because I couldn't grasp what was happening.
Yeah,
And then
dude.
Sunday, after the fight Sunday, I had 15 podcasts I had to do in a row from 10
Oh,
a.m. to 6 p.m. every 30 minutes. I had to do a podcast, whether it was a 15-minute podcast or an hour podcast. It didn't matter.
yeah.
My manager just lined them
Yeah.
up, and I mean, unfortunately, it sucked because every podcast asked the exact same question, so it was just
Oh,
redundant.
dude.
But it's like, dude, I don't I like, and I just say, I'm like, dude, like I said, I was straight up with them. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening right now. Like 48 hours ago, I was crying in my room about how broke I am. Now I have 100. I just got $100,000 check. I don't even know what's happening in my life right now as it's happening
Fuck.
because it just happened so fast.
Dude, that just gave me anxiety. Like, but like good anxiety, but also like the fact that you got the money now, everything's happening, you're doing your interviews, you're kind of living your dream. Like in that moment, you're like,
Exactly.
holy fuck, dude, I thought about this literally my whole life. This is happening right now. And then you take a fight, bro, less than 2 months.
Yeah, that
August
sucked,
8th,
man.
you're back in the octagon. And then
Yeah,
again, December 5th. So you're in your head, bro. I don't blame you, Justin. You're trying to be as active as you can. Dana loves that shit. It's during the pandemic. You got Hamzat's taking fights 7 days later. Kevin Holland fighting every month. Like, bro, you were just taking advantage of the opportunity, Justin.
well, in you know what? Now that I'm not probably ever gonna get signed back to the UFC, it was a
I
hard
don't know about that.
realization. I do. I just don't want to. I mean, I want to, but
Yeah,
I don't want it enough to what I know what I'd have to do to do it, and I
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Like if they called me today, I'm like, hey, we have a short notice fight for you. Oh fuck, dude, I would. Oh my god, what a dream come true that would be. But
yeah.
in order for that to happen, is and I had neck surgery recently. I had hand surgery, nose surgery, all
Mm-hmm.
within the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if I want to go through that recovery of getting injured again. I got injured while I was in the UFC. That's why I couldn't take any time off. Like I said, I had neck surgery last year. In order for me to get back to the UFC, I'd have to win 5 or 6 fights in a row. That's 5 or 6
Yeah.
fight camps. That's 2 months per fight camp. That means I'd have to fight every other month for a year, and I'd have to win dramatically just to even be looked at by the UFC. It's just I can't I can't be broke anymore, man. And when you're trying to get to the UFC, there's no money to be made. I coach at Extreme
Yo.
Couture. But you have to scrape by, live paycheck to paycheck until you get that call. And that's what I did for over 10 years. And then I got a little money from the UFC. I've made some good investments, but now I'm back to living paycheck to paycheck right now because all the money I made in the UFC, I invested it. I invested into my retirement. So I mean, I have like
Smart.
30,000 in crypto. I have a couple like 20,000
Smart.
in, some other Roth IRA.
Yeah.
But with that
Yeah.
being said, I'm back to living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm kind of just overdoing that at 35 years old.
What's it like being at Extreme Couture?
Oh, I love it, man. I've been there since 2009. I did my college internship there in
Oh,
2009.
damn.
Yeah, I've been there for a while. I moved out in Vegas officially in 2012. Man, I mean, Randy Couture, Ryan Couture, Emily
Eric
Couture,
Nixig.
Eric Nixick. I mean, fuck. I mean, the list goes on with great. Sean
Yeah.
Strickland's there right now. Francis Ngannou,
Yeah.
Brad Tavares. I mean, I could sit here and brag about all the guys I get to mingle with and hang out with and
Yeah.
train with. But at the end of the day, now these are just people to me. Sean's a fucking asshole. Brad Tavares is one of the best guys you could ever meet in your life. Like Sean is exactly how you'd expect Sean to be. Like there's no Colby Covington character there. He's a fucking
Yeah.
asshole, but he knows it,
Yeah.
and you gotta love it. Eric is an incredible coach, gym manager. I've known Eric since before he was anybody, man. Like Eric was
That's
taking
dope,
grappling
man.
classes when, before he was ever a coach or before he was ever the manager. And, it's just, seeing, and what's crazy is all these guys come from different spots in life, different spots in the world, and we all come together at Extreme Couture because we all have a similar goal. And I think it's awesome.
Bro, and Eric seems like such a cool man. Every time I see something in Extreme Couture, whether it's embedded or just Sean Strickland posting a vlog with him and Curtis or just fucking up a Navy SEAL, the vibe in there and the atmosphere just seems so dope, man.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine what it's like for you always being there. By the way, bro, thank you so much for being here. I know I've already had you on here for about 35 minutes. I got a couple more questions for you, Justin.
Yeah,
I know
shoot, man.
you
I got
probably
I
have
got
to get
nothing to do.
going.
Well, I'm just cleaning up around the house, so I'm getting shit done as we're doing this anyway,
Nah,
so I don't
nah,
mind.
you're good, dog. You're good, dog. I really want to know, bro, because look, so am I Muay Thai fight, right?
Okay.
I had probably 80 to 100 people there, right?
Okay.
When you fought at the Apex, bro, there was nobody there. What was that like, dude? And did you prefer that?
Hell no, I hated it. I fucking
Bro, I couldn't
hated it.
imagine it, dude.
It was some of the worst environment. It's one of the worst environments I've ever been in.
Dude.
Think about it like this: like, did you ever like when you're training? Do you ever go for like long distance runs?
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes. Once a
so do
once a
you,
couple times a week.
yeah, yeah. Even if it's once a month, regardless, you go on long
Yeah,
distance runs.
yeah.
Do you wear headphones when you run?
Oh yeah, bro.
Okay, why?
I literally just need that something to entertain me and just need that motivation.
So I wear headphones because I don't like to hear myself breathe. When I hear myself
Also
breathe,
that, also
I don't
that.
like to hear myself breathe. Like I don't know. Like I mean, that's why I wear headphones and the
Yeah.
entertainment, of course. But I don't like to hear myself breathe. Now imagine being in Apex, being exhausted when you can hear a pin drop and it's like fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear because the
Yeah.
crowd will give you energy. You share the energy with the crowd, and it's man when you get cracked, and that's why I think like it's gonna be tough to get knocked out because you have so much adrenaline. You get cracked in that crowd. Oh, that'll wake you up. And you're
Yeah.
like fuck, I'm in a fight. But in the Apex,
Yes.
I fucking hated it, man. And again, grateful for my opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But I hated the environment. I mean, you could hear everything as you're walking out. Nobody's clapping for you. Nobody's cheering for you.
Oh,
You're just walking out, and it's like,
yeah.
then Bruce Buffer's there, and that was pretty fucking awesome. But again, I hated it.
What was it like in the back, like before y'all walked out? Like, what was the process like, or your process, anyways?
Oh, I knew I was going to knock him out. I knew it. I was 100% sure. And I know it's easy to say after I did it.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very big on visualization. And I had been visualizing that moment for my whole life. And I always talk to when I go on runs, I would always say to myself, and, I believe I sold my soul to the devil in a sense because I remember thinking like, I just want one fight in the UFC, whether I get knocked out in 30 seconds or I knock him out, my career will be
Mm-hmm.
set after that. And unfortunately, I didn't feel that way once it happened. But dude, I mean, Roman, my head, my coach, I have Dennis Davis and
Mhm.
Roman are my coaches at Extreme Couture. Roman told me, and he'll even say it to this day, and he holds mitts for me at least twice a week. He said when I was in the back hitting mitts, he said he's never felt anybody at any weight hit as hard as I was punching those mitts. He said there was no doubt in his mind that if I touched Frank on the chin one time, he was going to sleep. And I
Yeah,
hit it.
dang.
What's crazy, it took two shots. I remember I did a leaping left hook, which is my favorite move. I got it from Mike Tyson, where I'll kind of bob my head to the right, roll around, load, and bang. And I hit him right in the jaw, and I saw him like kind of stumble. And I was like, oh shit, like that worked. Well, might
Dude,
as
it
well do
was
it again. So I did the
nasty.
exact same motion again. Just I kind of feinted a shot to a left hook, dropped him. Our heads hit. He got up, and the rest is history.
Bro, Justin, that knockout was fucking nasty. And bro, honestly, I can see the relief in your body when you finished it and you're just kind of laid out in the middle of the octagon, bro, just screaming. Like I feel that relief, bro. Like I know exactly, and I just do it at an amateur level. I'm not getting paid shit for it. I'm just
Yeah.
happy it's over. You did
Yeah.
that UFC debut, short notice knockout. You know you're probably gonna get a bonus. Like your life changed in that moment, man. That's so
And
fucking cool.
that's the weird thing, man. Like, so I go back to the hotel, and I have all
Hmm.
my friends and family around me. This is an emotional subject for me, dude. So give me a second.
No, 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 dude. No,
Like
dude.
I'm
No
fucking,
worries,
I'm
bro.
tearing up over here thinking about it because it was
No
such a great
worries.
moment in my life, and no matter, I feel like no matter what it happens, whatever I accomplish for the rest of my life will never compare to that moment. So it's like it's very it's very sad for me because I'm only 35. I'm not even halfway through my life, and I've already accomplished the biggest thing I'll ever accomplish. And honestly, it's been very depressing. I've been battling depression. I fuck it. I'm not gonna say I went into substance abuse, but I've went to substance before, and it's just like. Because not that it makes me feel better, it just doesn't make me feel anything. Because when we're talking about this and reliving those moments, because I don't talk about it very often, but reliving
Yeah.
those moments and reliving those feelings are just so emotional for me because again, there's not the only thing that could be comparable is if my son decided he wanted to fight or do something like that, and I got
Hmm.
to watch him have that moment. That's the only thing
Hmm.
that could ever compare to that. Like I was looking at going to the fire department, and they're like, oh, well, you'll save lives, and don't get me wrong, that's great, and that would make me
Yeah.
very, very happy, but
Yeah.
I'll never put the effort I put into getting to the UFC into anything else because I literally sold my soul. Like people don't understand the sacrifice. I sacrificed my son's whole childhood. I gave it all up.
Hmm.
I missed everything. I moved to Las Vegas when he was 4 years old. I missed everything. I mean, I shouldn't say I missed everything because I get him every summer, and he lives with
Yeah.
me for 3 or 4
Yeah.
months out of the year. But I gave all that up. I threw away two or three relationships. I had incredible, romantic relationships. I just threw them away. Fuck you. You're fuck. Oh, you're distracting me now. You're starting an argument before during one of my fight camps. Next. Oh, I'm with another girl.
Yeah.
Next. Like,
Yeah.
the sacrifice, the mental, the physical sacrifice. I just had disc replacement surgery last year. I'm gonna have to get it again. I broke my hand. I broke my nose. Like the physical sacrifice. And every time I get injured, people are like, "Oh, you need to hang them up," and I'm like, "Nope, not hanging them up. Not hanging them up till I'm fucking done." And unfortunately, the realization that my end is coming quicker than I even realize or care to accept. It's just a very emotional and it's very troubling for me, man, because everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a great coach," and this and that, and it's like it's not the same because I was the one that out there. I was the one that battled the odds. I was the one that persevered. Being a coach is great, and there's a lot of perseverance in being a coach. And when my athletes win, because I have a lot of incredible athletes, man, I have some of the best athletes, up and coming athletes right now. Lars Wittenberger, Elijah Aris, Cody Keller, fucking Will Carter. Like the list
Hmm.
goes on of all these incredible athletes I work with. But when they have their success and I'm a part of it, that's great, and I feel great about it. But when it's you and you finally get to have all the glory of all those injuries and all that perseverance and all that shit, it's something like nothing is comparable to it.
Justin, bro, first of all, thank you. Thank you for even sharing that with me. Like, for real. Like, that's amazing to hear, man. Like, it's, and people really don't understand, bro, like, the behind the scenes of this. Like you were saying with the relationships, even though you get your kid, like you said, 4 months out of the year, bro, there's little stuff you're missing on. You're training 2-3 times a day. You're not eating McDonald's 3 nights out of the week because you feel like not saving money that week. Like, everything you do is literally just for fighting. Like,
Dude,
bro,
there were times that I was living off, and again, my story. There's guys with worse stories than me. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
I'm not trying to say that, but
yes,
I mean, there was times I was living off McDonald's gift cards for a month. I'd be like, all right, well, fuck, I gotta pay my rent, so here's my rent. Oh well, I got a McDonald's gift card, fucking last Christmas, fucking for $10. Oh, okay, I'll go buy 2 cheeseburgers, and that would be my meal for the day or whatever it was. And again,
mm-hmm.
I wasn't starving. I'm not trying to make this
Nah,
sympathetic.
yeah,
Like,
I
oh, I
get
was
it. No,
starving.
I get it.
But when I go, even now, when I go to the restaurant and I want an appetizer, I look at what the price is.
Yes, bro. Yeah, you look at the prices, and then you're thinking like, well, am I gonna have to work this amount of calories to burn this off? What if something happens? It's literally, bro. It's a mind fuck nonstop. Like the amount of stuff you have to control, the amount of stuff you have to keep disciplined. It's so much shit that goes into this, bro. And I've said this for years, Justin. I make posts about this shit once a week.
Yeah.
Y'all are real fucking OG warriors, bro. Y'all are the real gladiators. These motherfuckers that play football, that play fucking a kid's game and get paid millions of dollars and get their fucking dick sucked and play 4 months out of the year, it pisses me off, bro. It's annoying as fuck. And then I see guys like y'all, and I speak to guys like Jason Knight, dudes that have been in absolute fucking
Dude, that guy's
wars.
a fucking savage.
Fucking savage. And then I got to hear him be like, man, can I come on the podcast later tomorrow? I got work tonight. I got work at the mill. And I'm like, dude, why are you working at the mill? You put on some of the greatest fights I've ever fucking seen. People
Jason Knight's working in a mill right now.
It's still mill, yeah.
Oh,
but that's what I'm saying, bro. Like
he's a
motherfucker.
He's a dog, bro.
He's a dope human being. Like you and him, honestly, like y'all are so laid back, dope ass dudes. Would love to just hang out with y'all and have a beer. And like the fact that y'all are just doing extraordinary things, man. You're literally just a normal dude doing extraordinary things and trying to make the best out of your life. That's all you're trying to do it. And you're not just doing it for yourself, bro. You're doing it for your family and your kids.
It's crazy that you just said the word extraordinary. So
yes.
This is something that I'm trying to evolve into because, again, I don't know where I'm going with my life right now. I'm going to continue to fight, but, maybe I'll go for a BKFC run. Who knows? But I want to do a TV show, and it's going to be, or maybe not a TV show. Well, the idea is a TV show, and I'm glad I get to say it on your podcast because in case I say this to somebody and they fucking run with it, I have this video that says, hey, look, I came up with this idea. I'm a very ordinary person. I think my athleticism, if this is average, I might be slightly more athletic than the average person, but not a super. I'm not a John Jones. I'm not a Division I football player. I can't run a 4.40. But I'm really strong right here, and I can persevere through a lot. I'm a very ordinary person, but I want to do extraordinary things. So I have this idea for a TV show that I'm going to pitch hopefully next year. I'm going to call it Ordinary to Extraordinary, and essentially it's just going to be me doing things that people won't even be able to fathom. Like one of my tasks I want to do, and I'm looking into. It's very expensive. But hopefully over the next year or so, I can figure out a way. I want to climb Mount Everest. I want to climb Mount McKinley. I want to do something that is people are like, this motherfucker is nuts. And it's not to show. It's not to. I'm not doing it to impress you. I'm doing it to show you, like, look, I'm just an ordinary guy. I'm 5'7", and I can fucking climb Mount Everest. I'm just an ordinary guy that's from Podunk, Richmond, Michigan, with a graduating class of 100 people, and I made it to the UFC. There are so many better athletes that I went to high school with, that I went to college with, that just stop. They just quit because they don't think they can. And I just want to be an ambassador of being just an ordinary, average size, average athlete doing extraordinary things. And I'm trying to come. And another one is racing like racing in like a big series, like not like a NASCAR race, but like to race a NASCAR on a track against another. I think something that'd be extraordinary.
Bro, this is amazing. I fucking love the concept of this. You could do this with anything. Yeah. It's literally, the title of it's amazing too. Ordinary to Extraordinary. And you're not like this 6'3" jack dude.
Exactly.
You play D1 football. You're literally just like most people. Like, bro, I'm 5'9". I walk around 195. Like, same shit. I played football. I played a little bit in college, but that's it. No, at a D3 college. Low level shit.
Me too.
Nothing
Division III.
That's insane. That's insane.
And I was terrible, bro. I was so bad, bro. I ran a 4.740.
I love that idea.
thought I ran a 4.7 in high school, and I was like, bro, I am
Yeah.
so fast. I'm blazing at 170 pounds. I got to college, and our 240-pound middle linebacker ran a 4.5, and I was like, this fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, and they're repping 225 for 30, and you're like, that's dope. That's fucking
I played
awesome.
one season, and I remember
Yeah.
the last play I ever played. I was a safety. I had a safety blitz. I'm fucking coming up on the backside of the quarterback. I'm like, dude, this is my shot. He turns, he sees me, he ducks his head, and that motherfucker hit me so hard, that quarterback, my helmet went
Yeah.
flying off, and I remember picking my helmet up, goes, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm fucking done.
Hey, but you chose the right career path, bro. Same thing
No.
happened to me. I ended up just dipping out of there, and then years later, I look back and I'm like, hey, dude, you would have wasted 4 more years trying to stick that out. You weren't going pro,
And
right?
injuries, bro. The injuries, I
Oh
mean,
my
these guys,
god.
what
Oh
school
my
did you go to?
god. I went to Lamar. It's a little ghetto school out here in Beaumont, in
Sure.
Texas.
I mean, but Texas has so many great football players, way more than Michigan. And I went to
Yeah.
Olivet College. I wrestled. The reason I went to Olivet is because I wanted to play football and I wanted to wrestle. And I knew I couldn't play Division One, probably couldn't play Division Two. But I thought, Division Three, at least I can do both. And I was wrong, man. After one season, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna get injured. Like I'm just getting fucked up.
Yeah. Bro, it's brutal, bro. And to kind of get it back to you, Justin, I got 2 more questions for you, bro.
Sure.
Because
Send it.
I like I said, we're almost at an hour, and I took up a lot of your time, bro.
Yeah, no worries, dude. No
Beyond
worries. No
beyond
worries.
grateful for it, bro. One's gonna be UFC, and then one's gonna be one more personal one for you, brother.
All right.
What behind the scenes? I don't know if you got to meet any of these dudes or talk to these dudes. Behind the scenes, what is Dana, Sean, Hunter, or Mick like behind the scenes?
I like Mick a lot. Mick, I
Really?
thought was always really nice. Dana was, I mean, the little bit of conversation I've had with him, he congratulated me after I knocked Frank Camacho out. Every time he saw me at the PI, he'd go out of his way to come shake his hand. Sean, I like Sean too. He,
It
he,
didn't seem like it.
uh, Sean's fine.
I get it. No, I get it. I get it. I get
Here,
it.
here's cool. Here's something cool about Sean that nobody knows. How old are you?
27.
Okay, so I'm a little bit older than you. Let's see if you can remember this. Do you remember the movie? It was called The Three Ninjas.
I don't, bro. I don't want to sit here and lie
They
to you. Be like,
they
yeah.
wore like it was. I remember in the '90s when I was a kid, I used to watch it. It was like my favorite movie growing up. These three kids trained under like this Mr. Miyagi type guy, and long story short, like the Mr. Miyagi guy gets kidnapped, and these three young kids are in their karate uniforms and they're battling bad guys and shit. It's called The Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
And I found out while I was in the UFC, Sean Shelby was a black belt in Taekwondo, and he was the stunt double
What?
in that movie.
What the fuck? When was in the 90s?
Yeah, called The Three Ninjas. Look it up. It's fucking wild. I asked him about it. He
Bro,
told me it was true.
Sean only looks fucking 40. Jesus,
Yeah.
dude.
Yep.
Bro, that's
So,
badass. He I know he had a fucking black belt in Taekwondo was a fucking stunt, man. I
hmm
don't think
yep.
anyone knows this.
I don't think so either. And I mean, he was a kid stunt man. I don't know if he still. I don't know how
But
deep he went
still.
into it, but
Yeah, still.
yeah.
Fuck, dude. That's fucking badass. But did you ever get to talk to Hunter? Hunter Campbell?
No,
No? Yeah, I hear a lot of
I
good
never
things
met
about
him.
him too. Honestly, I hear good things about all those guys for the most part. Like everyone's I've asked this question to, I've never heard no one go, but here's the thing, bro. These dudes are assholes because this is what happened one time. Or maybe they just don't want to share it. But for the most
Well,
part, bro,
here's the
I
thing,
get a lot
man.
of
Like
positive.
Sean can come off as an asshole, but
Yeah,
with that being said, given the position he's in, like
he looks like it.
he makes and breaks has to make and break people's career. That's his job. And
Yeah,
if you bring emotion into this, like how can he properly do his job? Like because me and Sean got along, man. I like Sean a lot. He was the guy that did all my matchmaking. But
oh damn.
how can he with an using emotion, oh man, I like Justin, I want to help him out, but maybe that's
Yeah,
not the
that's
best for the
true.
business.
That's true.
So the
That's true.
decisions he has to make, he has to take all emotion out of everything, and people would be like, "Oh, he's a fucking asshole." I mean, I can see why people would think he's an asshole, but dude, look at the position he's in. He has hundreds and hundreds of fighters that he has to give fights and take fights away. He has to make cuts, and he has to do it without any
Yeah.
emotion. Because can you imagine? I mean, being friends with every fighter on the roster, which
Oh,
most of us are, or most of them are, and then having to call them and tell them that they're fired. Like,
bro.
I mean, I have a lot of sympathy for Sean, and like I said, I know he can come off as an asshole sometimes, but I have a lot of sympathy for him, man. Making those decisions that he has to make on a weekly basis and essentially end people's lives. I mean, he ended mine.
No,
He ends
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and it's not personal. I didn't take it personal, and you know, it's I think he could have done it different. I mean, he did it on my birthday, but you know,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that was wild,
They
dude.
they
But
called you on your birthday for it?
yeah, well, no, they didn't call me. I saw a post on Instagram saying Justin Jaynes got cut from the UFC.
God damn, Justin. Bro, bro, you really are like mentally like a next level. Like
Here,
I'm telling you,
I'm
bro,
gonna
just
send you the. I'll send you the link. Hold on.
okay. I'll tell you, bro, like your next level mentality is insane. Like your dude that played football was saying, Sap. It really is, bro. Your mentality is like you're honestly the way you might this might even help me, bro, throughout my life and the way I need to start taking things in and stop being so like, why is this happening to me? Fuck this, I'm done. I'm just gonna do this shit now. Fuck everybody. Like, bro, you really do need to pat yourself a little bit better, bro, than what you are. Like the way you're doing through all this and the way you're going through, kind of not by yourself, but just pushing through all this on your own is insane, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I got people that depend on me. My son depends on me,
Yeah,
and you know, I mean, as much as I do want to take days off or weeks off, or sometimes, you know, I've been like I always said, like going through this in the last couple of years, I would never kill myself. I would never kill myself. I love my family. I love my son. You know, that's not even a thought in my head. But what
I
I
get
will
it,
say is I can see why some people do.
bro. I
And
Justin, I can, I completely feel that statement in my soul.
because I always before going through all this, like I just sent you this is the post that
You're
I
good.
found. Um, but so yeah, I mean going through all this, like there are times I'm laying in the bed and it's like, man, I fucking hate my life right
Mm,
now. And you know, I can see why some people would want to end it, man. And unfortunately, like, or I should say, fortunately, like, my son looks up to me, and
that's cool, man.
like, I'm like, my dad didn't accomplish much of anything. I'll be straight up, and he said it in his last couple months. He just died 2 months ago when I was out of town I was actually in Spain, and I was his caretaker and stuff. But he always told me like I didn't accomplish anything in my life. I blew so many opportunities and so when he would tell me to do something, I was always reluctant to do it because it's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck do you know? Like, and he had
yeah,
incredible opportunities. He was very, very smart. He was witty. He was a grimy grinder. But anytime it would start to come through, he'd blow it somehow. Whether it was through he was an alcoholic. Whether he pissed away 4 or 5 six-figure businesses because he'd get drunk and show up drunk, or he'd make bad business decisions because he's drunk, you know, shit like that. So I was always very reluctant to listen to his advice, even though if it was sound advice.
yeah.
Fast forward to my relationship with my son is I don't want him to ever think what I'm saying is bullshit because he can't question anything I
No,
tell him. If I tell him to do something,
no.
it's for a reason. Right now, him and I are battling right now because he's in wrestling season and I was like, tell me, if you want to be a good wrestler and you just want to have fun with your friends, dude, I'm about it. You don't have to do what I did. I'm
Yeah,
not. I don't want you to be a fighter, but
yeah,
you can't. And he's like, no, I want to be great. I was like, all right. I gave him 3 tasks. I said, I want you to do morning lifts, 6 a.m., 6 a.m. to 7, twice a week, like a Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And then you at least have to get 2 1-mile runs in after wrestling practice. 1 mile, which will take 10 or 15 minutes. Oh,
yeah.
and
Easy.
and and I want to track your diet because he says he's overweight. He's a little heavy right now. I goes,
Yeah.
download MyFitnessPal and track it.
The best
And
app ever, by the way.
best app ever. It's the app I use for free.
I same, bro, same.
And so he's like, okay. So 2 weeks go by. I call him. I was like, hey, like, hey, send me your MyFitnessPal. Oh, well, I don't know how to use it. It's like, what do you mean
Ah,
you don't know how to fucking use it? I was like, well, how many morning
yeah,
lifts have you done? I haven't done any. Well, how many morning runs or night runs have you done? My mom says she doesn't want me running at night because it's dark. It's like, then
yeah,
you're saying you want to be great, but you're doing everything an average athlete does. And if you just want to be average, that's fine. But don't
yeah,
tell me you want to be great because at the end of the season, when we have this conversation and you lose a match or you don't go to the state tournament or you lose in the state finals, this is all I'm going to say is like, you didn't listen to me. And unfortunately, that's what's inevitably going to happen if he doesn't start getting his shit together. And he can't say that I'm wrong because that's what I did to get to where I'm at. You know what I mean?
How old your son, Justin?
15.
Bro, bro, that's the most 15. I was the bro. Bro. Hearing you say this, I was like, God, dude, I was Justin's son. You were my dad, and I was your son. My dad told me the same stuff for football. And I'm like, I got it, Dad. Yeah,
But I mean,
bro, it really is.
Do
It is.
you look back and be like,
Oh,
man, I
dude,
wish I would have listened to what he said, and that's what's going
dude,
to happen to him.
bro. Justin. As you were saying that, I was like, maybe we should clip this for him. Because, dude, I swear to God, dude, like I swear to God, Justin, I was your son and you were my dad, bro. And I look back on those days many times, bro, and I go, God damn it, why didn't I just listen to half of his advice?
Dude,
like half of it. If I just did half the shit he told me to do, probably would have been all right.
And I'm not telling him to do things that are so crazy. Like,
it's easy, simple shit.
Scan the barcode on the back of the food you eat, and it'll automatically put it into your Fitness Pal. I don't know if you knew that. If you scan the barcode, it'll just upload it to it'll upload everything.
It's amazing. That app's amazing.
It's the most incredible app I've ever dealt with from a weight loss perspective. And it's the first, like when I get a new client at the gym, it's the first thing I have them do. It's like, I want to see your eating habits, because everyone, oh, well, I only eat 1,000 calories a day. All right, well, you're fat as fuck, so obviously you don't eat 1,000 calories a day. And I had this 300-pound client. He's showing me his MyFitnessPal, and he's eating 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. He's like, see, this is all I eat, and I just can't lose weight. And he fired me. He fired me because I was like, look, I was like, Brian, you're fucking lying. Like, you're lying to me. This is not all the food you eat. Look how big you are, bro. You're lying to me. And he got so mad, he fired me. And there's no way you can be 300 pounds, eat 1,200 calories a day for a month, and not lose and gain weight. It's impossible.
Bro, I'm a trainer too, bro. I don't train MMA fighters. I just do like regular training at a gym, 24-hour fitness.
For sure.
Justin, I have this conversation fucking 6 times a day, bro. Six times a fucking day I had this conversation. And like you said, we'll do a free fitness assessment. I'll walk down with these motherfuckers, tell them the same shit, like, nah, there's no way you're doing this, and I never see that motherfucker again.
Because they think like, oh, they want sympathy. Oh,
that's 100%.
I'm doing everything right. No, you're not doing everything right. You're not doing everything right. You're not doing everything right.
In your case, that dude's a psycho. How are you gonna go to a former UFC fighter and then bitch about like shit and then fire him for getting on your ass? I would love for you to be my coach.
He didn't openly fire me. Like, he never got another session again. And honestly, that's one thing I had to learn as a trainer. Like, I'm super intense all the time. I'm very straightforward. But honestly, in the last couple of years,
you know what it takes. Dude, you know what it takes though, bro. Like, you're not gonna soft ass these motherfuckers, and you just know the results, what it takes to get there, bro. That's all it is, man. And Justin, to get you out of here with one last question, brother, just a personal question for you.
Yep, no worries.
If there's anybody, man, you'd like to give a shout out to, or there's anybody, bro, that without them, you wouldn't have made it to where you are today, I'd love to hear it, brother, and I'd love to hear who you got on the brain.
I hate this question.
I know, I'm sorry.
Because I always forget somebody, because everyone that will be listening wants to hear their name, but I've had so much endless support through the years, man. If I had to thank one person, and without my best friend in high school, Adam Sadrowski, he's traveled the world with me. He's cornered me in the UFC. I'm gonna say my dad and my son, just to keep it simple. My dad supported me since I was.
It's a horrible question on me.
It's just because everyone wants their thanks, because so many people have helped me. I have a friend, Jeremiah Self, man, who essentially paid my bills for a couple months. Without that, I might move back to Michigan. I have James Lee, who keeps trying to put money in my pocket. He coached me for free for years. Andy McLaughlin, who got me into the sport. Kara Rowe, former 19-0. World champion boxer that I still train with when I go home. Dennis Davis, Roman Isbell, Eric Nixick, Randy Couture. These were all pillars to me being built. And if I take one of those pillars out, look at Randy Couture, for instance. The first year I was in Vegas, I'll be straight up, and I had a landlord, I had a female landlord, and I'm like, fuck it, I want to live here for free, so I was fucking her, and straight up. Well, But I was in Vegas. I was 19 years old. I'm living in Vegas. I'm having sex with my landlord,
Oh,
for
dude.
essentially free rent, and then I'm hooking up
You're
with other
living the
girls on the
dream.
side.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
living
well,
the dream, dog.
she found out that I was hooking with other girls on the side, so she kicked me out of her house. So I was homeless
Ah.
there for a couple days, and then Ryan was at the gym. Randy's son was at the gym, but I was there before him. He's like, "What are you here so early for?" I'm like, "Oh, I slept in the parking lot because I got kicked out of my house." He's like, "Do you want to come stay with me and Dad?" Like, I was like,
Oh man, that's
"Stay
so
with
cool,
you and
dude.
Randy Couture? What?"
Yeah.
I don't know if I can afford it. He goes, "Don't worry about it. Just keep the house clean." And I was like, "Fuck!" And that was my in. And I stayed with Randy for a whole month. Randy and Ryan for a whole month. I mean, the list
What
of
was
you
that
can't,
like, dude?
dude. It was surreal, man. It was before I
Oh
knew
my
Randy,
God, Justin. Holy
and
fuck.
I came out and
My
I told
bad.
him, "No, no, you're good, dude." I told him. So when you go into Randy's house, he still is in the same house. You go upstairs like this winding staircase, and he has like
Oh
a
my
trophy
God.
case of all his belts lied
Holy
out,
fuck.
and it's like his desk. So when Randy and Ryan left, fuck, I put all his belts on and I went in the mirror and I was taking pictures and shit. And
Dude.
I ended up telling him like 5 years ago, like I was like, "You want to hear a funny story?" And he started dying laughing. He's like, "You want to hear something else?" I was like, "Yeah, what?" He's like, "You're not the first person." And I was like, fuck off.
Bro, I would be flipping the fuck out just being in their house. Just
Yeah,
eating dinner with them or getting out the shower and being like, why the fuck am I showering at Randy Couture's house right
dude,
now?
it
This is
was it
insane.
was surreal. And again, I know Randy now. Randy's a personal friend. I can call him on the phone. We text.
Yeah,
Like he's a personal
that's
friend of mine. So
cool.
he's not Randy Couture to me anymore. He's just Randy.
Yeah.
But at that point, he was the 5-time world champion Randy Couture, and I'm at his
Yeah,
house right
bro.
now wearing his belts in his mirror and shit. So,
The All
anyways,
American, son.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, to go back to your original question, I mean, I just have so
Yeah.
many pillars of support. My mom, I fucking didn't even mention her. See what I mean? Like, if she was
Yeah,
listening to this and
bro.
I didn't
It's
mention her name,
yeah.
she'd be fucking pissed. My uncle, like, just everybody, man. If it was, and
Everybody, yeah.
everyone did their own piece, and if it wasn't for everybody doing their own piece, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Justin, that was a beautiful way to put that, bro, to be honest with you. Dude, thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time today, bro. Beyond grateful for it, man. You're the fucking man, dude. I am so glad I got to listen to your story today, bro. I'd love to have you back on, man, a couple months down the road from now, just see how life's going for you, bro. Like I said, Justin, you're the fucking man, dude. Your story's inspirational as fuck. I appreciate everything you told me today, dude, and you might even change the way I look at things, bro, for the rest of this year.
Hey man, anytime you need anything, you even just need an ear to talk, give me a shout. I'd love to be on your show again. If you wouldn't mind, and not to cross shout out, but shout out to Josefa Capadia and the 10-7. It's our little podcast that we're running. Guys, give us a shout if you guys liked what I had to say and you want to hear me talk some more. Like I said, look up the 10-7 MMA show on YouTube. Greatly appreciate it, and then obviously support your show as well.
You're the fucking man, Justin. I appreciate you more than you know, folks. And if you're not already, follow my man's podcast, and it's scrolling by right there, folks. Follow this man on Instagram, X, and his YouTube, like you already said, at
Yes, sir.
J09MI. Justin, you're the fucking man. Thank you so much, brother. Look forward to having you on again, man.
I appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.